I know, technical difficulties in its finest. What else was I going to say? Well, my name is Kat Johnson, and welcome to my nice little lightning talk. We're going to talk about AI and accessibility. We got a lot to talk about, and we only have 10 minutes, less than 10 minutes actually. And I usually like to roam around the stage, and I'm going to try really hard to stand in this one place for these 10 minutes. So let's get started. First, I want to preface this talk by mentioning that I am not an AI expert. I know a little bit about AI, but I would not say I'm an expert in any way. But what I am an expert in is accessibility. As was mentioned earlier, a lot of my experience has been in accessibility. My previous work was at Microsoft, where I worked on account.microsoft.com. And these days, I work at Khan Academy, where I focus on making accessible widgets for our learners. So you might be curious, why am I talking about AI and the intersection of accessibility? Well, because I get asked a lot these days about whether AI is the magic solution, whether it's going to fix all of our accessibility bugs. What if we just had AI scan our website and fix all the alt text and all the improper HTML? That's a personal nightmare for me to hear that. So this talk is really born out of trying to educate developers on what you can really do with AI. What's the good, what's the bad, what are all the little things in between? So let's get started talking about it. But before I can talk really about the intersection of AI and accessibility, I want to start off talking briefly about AI. And because this talk is so short, I'm not going to go into all the ins and outs, but I wanted to give you a highlight of like 3 different types of AI that is known in the industry. There's probably more, but this is important for this talk. There is narrow AI, there's general AI, and there's super intelligent AI. For this talk, we're really going to focus on narrow AI. And what narrow AI is really, it's a type of AI that performs specific tasks and doesn't really learn anything beyond that. Sounds familiar, right? It's actually what generative AI is. Generative AI is really just a subset of this narrow AI. It can do really fancy things. It can predict information. It's trained on a bunch of data, and it spits out a result that you probably want. So it is really helpful, but it's important to recognize that is the AI that we're interacting with a lot these days. We're really in that early stage of AI. Okay, now, remember that, because that'll be important later in the talk. So now let's talk about some of the really positive things that AI has done for accessibility. This is going to be the most lighthearted part of the talk. So for AI has actually done a lot of really positive things for accessibility. If anyone's saying, don't use AI, it's bad for accessibility, they're right and wrong. But AI has made massive improvements into image recognition, making advancements in apps for visually impaired users. There's some really interesting things that are happening in Be My Eyes and Seeing AI. And actually, in the longer form of this talk, there's a really cool video where Be My Eyes is showing how visually impaired users are able to use their application as an aid to walk around and explore the space. But AI has also made writing a whole lot easier. I'm involved in some cognitive accessibility groups for WCAG, and many times we have talked about how ChatGPT and other LLMs have really made writing notes a lot easier, like writing articles, or depending on if you have ADHD or a cognitive disability, AI can help summarize a lot of information and boil it down and making it easier to go about your day. And there's been many more. Like, honestly, this talk was typically 30 minutes. So this is a really short, boiled-down version. But there are so many advancements in the accessibility area that's been really helpful with AI, that's been really impactful for users. But like anything, with all this positive work out there are some really valid concerns with AI that we need to be aware of and understand. First and foremost, the thing that really grinds my gears is hearing that AI can replace knowledge experts, that we don't need to hire accessibility experts because we can use this AI tool to fix all our accessibility bugs. That is 1,000% false. AI does not replace our content writers and our designers who write rich alt text that describe this experience, and you can bake it in for screen reader users. AI doesn't replace really skilled engineers that know how to construct really good, crisp experience and build new custom widgets that haven't been built before. AI can guess at what you can build to make things accessible, but it rarely replaces really skilled professionals. And even if we, say a company, was hiring the accessibility experts that were needed, there are still some big glaring challenges with AI that we need to be aware of. For instance, there is a lot of baked-in bias into the results of these AI chats. For instance, because remember earlier when we were talking about what is the AI we're interacting with, it is that narrow AI. It's trained on a lot of information, but usually when it trains on all this information, it tends to amplify the biases that we have in our society and our system. So it can amplify biases in race, gender, disabilities. Sometimes, and this is really scary, sometimes these AI tools can kind of get a shape of who you are, and so if it figures out that you have a disability, sometimes it adjusts its response based on who you are, and it doesn't typically do it for the better. Just, no. But even with all that, there's still a lot of glaring errors and issues within the system. Even the previous lightning talk sort of highlighted that some of these AI results can be misleading, it appears more confident than it is, and it's really hard for users of all sorts to be overly confident in the results, and that's really scary. So if AI really isn't the answer, what is? Well, as developers and organizations, we can do better to make our AI a lot more crisper and clean. For engineers, my advice to make your content much more accessible is really going back to the basics. First, clean up your HTML. 90% of the bugs that are happening online that are really impacting users tend to be from poorly constructed, poorly written HTML or images missing alt text. All of these can be really detected quite quickly, and just fixing those low-level accessibility bugs will have massive improvements to your customers. And also, if you can, create some automated testing within your CI/CD pipeline. When you are able to detect and find accessibility bugs well before it goes to production, it's quicker, easier, and cheaper to fix those issues before they roll out to customers and people who have to interact with it. And if you are using AI tools, understand the limits, know the bounds of which it can feed you this information, what the information is built on, and really be critical and vet the results. And as we're growing and using AI tools more and we're looking into how to use it for accessibility, adjust as you go along. I made this presentation about a year ago, and since then there's already been a lot of changes to how things are structured, what AI tools are good at suggesting for accessibility. So to put that into this presentation, it will be obsolete in a month. So my best advice for everyone here is just understand limits, vet the results, and adjust as we know more. And if you're an organization, my suggestion is to really focus on compliance. Understand the compliance of your site, what level of WCAG compliance you're at, and make meaningful strides towards getting a more compliant user experience. And if you can, hire accessibility experts. There are a lot of really skilled experts out there that can help weigh the pros and cons of different bugs, different issues on your site, and help get you towards a compliant experience. In addition, listen to your customers. Depending on what the application you're building and what you're providing, listening to your customers and gathering feedback will help you understand what is the most impactful experience for your users and how you can make it so much better. And if you forget anything else in this presentation, you forget every other piece of information I told you here, the most important thing I want you to remember is use AI deliberately and not as the magic solution. These are all the resources for this talk. There are so many important pieces of information. Was not able to address all of it here. This is my last slide. That QR code will link you to the rest of the slides. My name is Kat Johnson. Thank you much for joining me here today, and I hope you enjoy the rest of Cascadia JS.